Most kids can say the darndest things, but only some can think brilliant thoughts, conjure revolutionary theories, and solve mind puzzles even adults can't comprehend. These children have accomplished physical and mental feats in their short lives that many of us couldn't dream of completing in our lifetime. So join the Hub as we celebrate these 10 amazing kids you need to see to believe. We are very excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from The Richest, Screen Rant, The Taco, The Sportster, The Things, and many other great channels. Literally thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. Check out the Premium by clicking this link. Sign up for free and start binge watching videos from your favorite channels. And while you're at it, click on the subscribe button. It's not as prestigious as an acceptance to Mensa, but the Hub will reward you with more exciting and mind-blowing facts about the amazing people around us. DALIYA Marie Arana. So you have a lot of reading to catch up on? We all want to be up to date on the hottest bestsellers so we can know what happens to our favorite characters, keep up with the latest trends, and initiate conversations at dinner parties. Well, one 4-year-old girl has a big head start on all of her peers as she's read over 1,000 books and is still going. Hailing from Gainesville, Georgia, DALIYA Marie Arana wants to be a librarian when she grows up, and we know she'd be an inspiration to kids everywhere who struggle to finish reading just a couple of pages. Her parents say that introducing her to the process of reading right at birth allowed her to get into it early, and she completed reading around 1,000 installments of children's literature as part of Georgia's 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program before turning 3. Publicity from her accomplishment gained her an invitation to visit the Library of Congress, which has the world's largest collection of books. Upon meeting this smart, motivated young woman, the Librarian of Congress was able to show DALIYA around what may be her future place of employment. Taylor Ramon Wilson. Some kids dabble in science by building homemade volcanoes. Not too many build their own nuclear fusion reactors with plasma cores 40 times hotter than the sun. But that's exactly what Taylor Ramon Wilson did at the age of 14. Interested in rocket science from a young age, he received an incredible amount of support from his father, who owns a Coca-Cola bottling plant, and a mother who is a yoga instructor. Soon after his breakthrough, he won $50,000 and a chance to meet President Obama after his science fair experiment offered a counter-terrorism device that could detect harmful nuclear materials in storage containers and various other shipping methods. With 2 highly viewed TED Talks under his belt and a resume that includes his receipt of the Teal Fellowship, a grant which offers $100,000 to recipients under the age of 23 as long as they drop out of school for 2 years and pursue scientific research, Wilson is on his way to becoming a science icon. KRISTINA Johnson, the former U.S. Undersecretary for the Department of Energy, complimented that he's a type of personality you see once in a generation. He's not just smart, he's cool and articulate. Hopefully his work will inspire other teens to join in on scientific development and discovery. Kevin Chen. Canadian pianist Kevin Chen is a modern-day Mozart. During a trip to a piano store in Edmonton with his parents, Kevin started playing nursery songs on the keyboard at 2.5 years old. As his parents weren't particularly musical themselves, he'd obviously picked these tunes up by ear. Encouraged by the piano salesman, his parents signed Kevin up for lessons, and the rest is history. With 3 symphonies and 80 individual songs composed for string and percussion instruments, he built an impressive resume for himself by the astounding age of 10. He even headlined a performance in front of a crowd of 2,000 people with the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra. Though he's not much of a talker, his music speaks for him, and it's astounding to behold. Just imagine how many people he'll be able to reach and how complex his compositions will get as he grows older. Adding to his numerous accomplishments, Kevin was named among the top 30 musicians under 30 by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, graduated from the Royal Conservatory of Music at age 8, and finished recording his first album. Within a few short years, he's come a long way from the toddler playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the piano store. GIULIANO Stroe. Born and raised in Romania, GIULIANO Stroe has the well-honed athletic skills and physique of a bodybuilder, but he's barely even a teenager. Just 13 years old, GIULIANO has been working out with his weightlifter father and younger brother since he was a toddler, and over the past decade and change, he's developed the muscle mass and dexterity of athletes twice his age. With his sibling Claudio, the two are known as the Hercules brothers, which is appropriate because they continue to rack up physical accomplishments left and right. In between their 2-hour-per-day workouts, GIULIANO has already seized the world record title for the most 90-degree push-ups, in which he raises and lowers his own body with his arms while using his upper body to keep his legs from touching the floor. He completed 20 at the time, but broke his own record in 2011 by completing an astounding 40. He also broke the record for longest human flag by holding himself up horizontally against a metal pole for over 1.5 minutes. There's no telling what other records he'll break, which is astonishing considering he's just barely high school age. EZEKIEL Stoddard. At his family's independent Pentecostal church, Ezekiel Stoddard became an ordained minister at the age of 11. While there are other ministers in the Fullness of Time Church in Capitol Heights, Maryland, including Ezekiel's mother, this boy has spent most of his young life studying scripture, learning the importance of the 10 Commandments, and following his religion's teachings. His mother, Adrienne Smith, concedes that he does childlike things, but when it comes to the Word of God, he studies and he prepares. Being able to speak with confidence and preparation in front of a wide congregation takes a lot of discipline, but this isn't a big change from his earlier childhood. According to Zeke, as his family calls him, he gave his first sermon at age 7, and while it may be hard for some adults to connect with the spiritual reasoning of a child, maybe it helps this Pentecostal church relate to the younger members of the congregation. Other theologians and religious professionals note that ordaining a child is unusual, particularly in many other organized religions, as the position of reverend is usually seen as a lifelong profession, but it's not unheard of to see in independent and evangelical religious communities that feel this type of exception is necessary. PRIYANSHI Somani. At age 11, PRIYANSHI was the youngest participant to compete in the Mental Calculation World Cup in 2010. Using her method of mathematical calculation, she mentally computed complex arithmetic problems and won. To her, it's a skill she developed for fun, and she started studying mental mathematics at age 6. Her household, adorned with lines of trophies from various competitions, and with good reason, she holds the distinction of being the only competitor in the 4 major computation World Cups to complete square root, addition, and multiplication rounds with complete and total accuracy. Having a 100% success rate certainly earns you all the praise and rewards. To top this off, she served as Indian ambassador to World Maths Day of 2011, and she holds the record for fastest resolution of complex mental square roots, in which she correctly calculated the square roots of 10 different numbers, each 6 digits long, within 2 minutes and 43 seconds. In a time when we rely more and more on technology, when we use apps on cell phones to validate tips and check our math for simple bills, the fact that PRIYANSHI can complete these complex math problems all in her mind is without comparison. Jacob Barnett. Of all success stories, Jacob's is one of the most inspiring. Born with a behavior that was diagnosed by doctors as severe autism, specialists told Jacob's parents that he would probably never read, write, or talk. The withdrawn toddler had been given the short end of the stick, but Jacob's parents wouldn't give up. Herself a preschool teacher, Jacob's mom decided to homeschool him and indulged his hobbies. Mostly non-responsive, young Jacob appeared to enjoy playing little activities in puzzle books, solving mental riddles, drawing pictures, and quietly exercising his brain. While he had a difficult time keeping eye contact, he slowly began to open up, displaying highly accelerated results. After mastering his high school's entire math curriculum in about a half a month, he was accepted into Indiana's Purdue University, studying astrophysics and being the only 10-year-old on campus with the ability to tutor the much older students. At age 15, he became the youngest PhD student of the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics, sharing facilities once occupied by Stephen Hawking. The kid who had trouble communicating with his own family has an IQ rivaling Einstein's and is developing a theory that may even rival the famous theory of relativity. Diamond Shakoor. At 8 years old, Diamond Shakoor was deemed a natural. With the ability to compute the lightning-fast strategic moves needed to be victorious, she was the youngest African-American girl to win a national chess competition. By age 12, she had competed in 250 tournaments and added 7 more national championships to her belt. In the grand scheme of chess rankings, players holding a total score of 2,500 gains them the elusive title of Chess Master. And while no African-American female has ever attained a 2,200 score, Diamond is working her way up to the challenge. In her preteens, she had a score of 1,300, and now in her teenage years, she certainly has enough time to work her way to master status. Raised by a single father, Diamond's dad, Abdul, has been her caretaker for most of her life, and he's her perfect guardian. As the recipient of 2 master's degrees, Abdul teaches chess classes near their home, and he's taught Diamond one-on-one since she was 7. Her whip-smart memory and focused studies in the art of chess gives her an upper hand in pursuing the glory that only this board game can afford. Akrit Pran Jaswal. When you're 7 years old, you may learn how to pull a splinter out of your skin with a pair of tweezers, but how many of you performed complicated surgical procedures? After a young girl's fingers were burnt in a nearby town, the skin had fused together. With no medical attention immediately available, the girl's shepherd father took her to a boy whose reputation had spread around the area. With Akrit's basic knowledge of anatomy, his precise reflexes, and ability to learn quickly, he served as a life-saving amateur surgeon. After fixing the girl's injuries, his notoriety and proven intelligence with an IQ of 146 allowed him to pursue a bachelor's degree at Chandigarh College, notably becoming India's youngest college student at the time. Now a practicing physician, Akrit is still striving to put his wide-ranging knowledge to good use. Studying for a master's in applied chemistry, he hopes to discover a cure for cancer. After using his talents to help others at an incredibly young age, he continues to better himself for the greater good. Hopefully, he'll be able to find a cure for all those suffering from the disease, especially those who struggled with little outside help. Those childhood memories of the suffering of fellow citizens have driven him to be better. KRISTINA Pimenova. Navigating the entertainment industry is hard enough as an adult, so imagine the difficulty of striving for success in the cutthroat world of fashion as a child. That's what Russian-born model KRISTINA Pimenova faced when she was signed by an LA talent agency at the age of 10. Named the world's most beautiful girl, she was already considered a child supermodel by the time she moved to LA, and with a footballer dad and a model mom, the red carpet runs under the feet of this whole family. It didn't seem like much of a surprise, following appearances in successful ad campaigns for Roberto Cavalli, Armani, and a Vogue DALIYA feature. Oftentimes, the hardest part of being a young entertainment professional is the lack of a traditional childhood. Gaining that necessary downtime is made more difficult by her rising notoriety. At 1.9 million Instagram followers and counting, any slowdown in the stardom machine is unlikely. With dreams of moving from the printed page to the big screen, KRISTINA hopes to become an actress and film director. Since she has a natural talent in front of the camera, she'll likely enjoy being the one to call the shots once she grows up. While many adults wish they could go back to the carefree days of their youth, these kids have spent their formative years as productive and promising members of society. We hope you found these 10 kids as amazing as we have, and stay tuned to more crazy stories you've got to see to believe, only on TheHub. See you soon!